anymore. I quit all that and sold all my things. I've been on a journey for about 7 months now on foot to Palestine from Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are your reasons for that journey?
The human rights situation in Palestine is terrible. You have an apartheid system of segregation, you have periodic massacres in Gaza, which is also the world's biggest open-air prison with 2 million prisoners. People there can't fish, people there can't, they don't have electricity more than 4 hours every day. It's quite terrible in innumerable ways. And I'm trying to raise awareness about that, because the situation needs to end for people to end their suffering, obviously. And the more people know about this, the more people put pressure on the Israelis to end their illegal military occupation, the faster the suffering will end. And I'm trying to do everything I can towards that end.
Let's tell us something about your experience while traveling through the Europe countries.
Well, I've been on foot the entire time, and people are very nice in every country, friendly, welcoming. And I've gotten the chance to speak a lot about these human rights abuses, and also I've been to Palestine before, so I talked a lot about my journey there and what I saw and experienced. And it's been a very interesting couple of months, and I've learned a lot myself as well.
And
as everyone already knows, we have a rampant Islamophobia in Europe, and people are afraid of refugees and very anti-immigrants in general, not only Germany, but we can see this in all the European countries with far-right extremist parties on the rise. And this I can see very clearly in Germany, as it was election time when I was walking through the country. And I saw AfD posters, the Alternative for Deutschland party, were everywhere. Lots of people were also seeing me with a Palestinian flag, as I have when I'm walking, screaming insults and giving me a not very welcoming feeling. So it was, I can only imagine how it is for refugees being on the road. I mean, I have a Swedish passport, I'm safe, but most people aren't. And I guess they have a lot of trouble with people being so racist in Europe these days. As everyone already knows, we have a rampant Islamophobia in Europe, and people are afraid of refugees and very anti-immigrants in general, not only Germany, but we can see this in all the European countries with far-right extremist parties on the rise. And this I can see very clearly in Germany, as it was election time when I was walking through the country. And I saw AfD posters, the Alternative for Deutschland party, were everywhere. Lots of people were also seeing me with a Palestinian flag, as I have when I'm walking, screaming insults and giving me a not very welcoming feeling. So it was, I can only imagine how it is for refugees being on the road. I mean, I have a Swedish passport, I'm safe, but most people aren't. And I guess they have a lot of trouble with people being so racist in Europe these days.
Can you repeat your experience with embassy in Prague for our viewers?
Yeah. So I was, after having some days in Prague doing lectures and meeting interesting people, I was going to leave for Austria. And I happened to go past the Israeli embassy, so the Israeli flag waving at the building. And when I got closer, it was on my way, walking. They always have armed guards. So they saw me, started shouting, stop, who are you, what are you doing? Naturally, I stopped. Didn't take 5 minutes before I was surrounded by maybe 10, 15 police officers. They were very fast. And they detained me at the scene of the crime, at the place where I passed through for about 2 hours, calling the bomb squad, searching through all my things, looking for bombs, asking me if I had a knife, maybe 20 times. I don't carry a knife, it's a very bad idea because the police will catch you back there. And also taking my passport and giving it to every single embassy staff, then taking pictures of it, so I don't think I'll be very welcome in Israel. They already have my picture from the embassy incident. They don't really like people walking past maybe, at least not with a Palestinian flag, because we all know what they think of Palestinians.
Yeah.
In Palestine, last year in April, And my strongest experience was from when I visited the city of Hebron. It's a Palestinian city with 200,000 people. But the city center, like 20% of the absolute center of the city, is occupied by Israel with around 800 Israeli settlers, guarded by 1,000 to 2,000 soldiers and police, heavily armed. And me as a Swede, I couldn't go into this occupied city center. They were like fenced off with checkpoints and walls. I was with my Palestinian friends, they were showing me this, but they couldn't go through the checkpoints, obviously, because they were Arab Palestinians, so they're not allowed into the city center of their own city anymore. It's an Israeli town now. And when I came in, I was with another activist that showed me around. She had been living there for a year or two. And she described to me that this was the liveliest part of town, like the biggest market. It was always crowded. It was a ghost town when I came in. All the shops closed, nobody on the streets. You could see some of these illegal settlers walking around, but that's it. And they told me that no Palestinian cars are allowed here. This street is for Jewish people only, not Palestinians. Of course I could walk there, but no Palestinians. Like literally segregating the streets into two. It's amazing that this can happen in 2018. It's been going on for 70 years, the occupation, but that we still don't really quite understand how horrible it is. Shop owners have been kicked out of their shops, having their doors forcefully shut, welded shut, so they couldn't open them anymore. Families being thrown out of their homes, literally, and just their homes stolen from them. This is happening today as well. There are some brave families still living inside this occupied city center, and they're actively trying to kick them out of their homes and take their homes. I mean, can you believe this? It's absolutely absurd. And I saw this with my own eyes, and I was truly shocked. I mean, I came home and I cried for several days. I'm like, how can this be reality? How can people be so cruel? Why didn't I know about this before? Why did I have to go there? Why do I have to tell maybe someone that didn't know before? Why don't we teach our kids about reality? I mean, this is reality. People are suffering badly, and we don't even know. Yeah, we're people, and when we see children suffering, we suffer. And we're not free until the Palestinians are free, and we cannot stop suffering until they stop suffering. It's pretty obvious. I'll tell you one more crazy story. So one of my friends from Bethlehem, he told me that his friend had been arrested for dreaming about resisting the occupation. He had a dream that he was like fighting Israeli soldiers that probably had killed his family and arrested like his brother, because that's the story that everyone has. And for having this dream and telling it to some people, somehow the Israelis found out about it, and he's been in jail for over 3 years for dreaming. Okay, this is the democracy most just nation in the world. I would wonder, what?
The only democracy in the Middle East.
Yeah, I can tell that. But if they're the biggest democracy that they like to tell about, then why can't people vote away the military occupation? I'm pretty sure that every Palestinian, if they could vote, would say like, can we please stop occupying people? Can we stop having two legal systems so they don't even have civilian law for Palestinians inside the West Bank and Gaza? They have a military court system where the conviction rate is 99.74%. If you get charged by anything, you get thrown into jail. If you throw a stone at a car, you can get 20 years in jail. That's the punishment. And they are arresting kids as well. There are over 300 children in Israeli jails. Children. They can be 14, they can be 12. I've seen kids like 5 years old being arrested for someone telling the soldiers he threw a stone. So the soldiers come and take the kid, like 5-year-old, from his mother who's crying and like being devastated, putting the kid inside a military jeep and just going. Not telling the parents where they're going. The parents not knowing where their little kid are. I mean, it gets to you. Can't accept this. It's too much.
300 children in prison now.
Over 300. Boycott Israel. Until the human rights abuses stop, boycott it. Don't buy their goods and don't sell them your goods. And if you don't believe me, go there and see it for yourself. Go to Hebron. Just go. I mean, it's easy for Croatian people. Everyone can visit Palestine except for Palestinians. So use the opportunity and just go and see.